Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. Of course, we've seen Donald Trump being sworn in as 47th president-elect. He's going to be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. We'll be talking about the ramifications of this as far as, of course, domestic policy of United States within, of course, but also as far as what it means for foreign policy. Does it mean necessarily a change in foreign policy, or will things continue to run in the same direction largely with regard to other countries, with regard to the region, with regard to, for example, China, with regard to the promises that Donald Trump made during his elections, whether that is a lot of that is just hyperbole, electioneering, or it's going to mean a shift, a change in United States policy overall with regard to the rest of the world, of course, particularly Pakistan also, with a particular focus on US-Pakistan relations of late, and also what this means as far as Republic-Democrat change that we are going to be looking at. Of course, it's a historic election in a lot of ways. Let's talk about all of that today. I have with me Dr. Shezra Mansab Ali, who is an M&A with PML-N. Thank you for being with us today. We have with us Mustafa Baloch, who is with the PPP. Thank you for joining us. Wajih Abbasi, who is a political analyst. Thank you for being with us today. We'll also be joined by other guests during the course of the program. Let me go to Dr. Shezra and then I'll come back to you. Dr. Shezra, we've seen this, of course, election, the impact of it, the effect of it, and the way that it is being taken in Pakistan. How would you respond to a lot that is being said about Donald Trump, about his inclination towards Pakistan and Pakistani politics? Do you think a lot of it is just, hyperbole and, things that have been said and attributed to him? How do you look at it overall?
Thank you very much, Mahrukh. I think what we need to do is just look at the facts and not really take into consideration all that is being said and talked about. And the facts are that even though Trump has come, and Trump is definitely not your run-of-the-mill politician, he's a different from other presidents. He is a businessman. Many of his policies are based on transactional, things that he would want to do rather than the typical political things that other presidents have been doing. But at the same time, as far as if we look at what he's what's the America's policy about Pakistan? America was very much invested in Pakistan before the exit from Afghanistan. Pakistan was very important for America. After that, America has more or less lost interest in Pakistan. We were not able to give them, I personally believe, the kind of exit that they wanted. Even though we tried, but we were never able to do as much as America wanted us to do. It was always do more at that point. And but after the foreign exit, they were really not. They have lost interest in us as a very strategic partner that we were earlier. And in this region, America has chosen very clearly and stated that its chosen strategic partner is India. So right now, Donald Trump, as he has said so many times in his own campaign, his focus is going to be internal. His political slogan was "Make America Great Again." He is not interested in wars. He's not interested in spending money on wars, which he thinks is just taking away from America. He has told most of the world that he's not interested in spending the money that could be spent internally within America to make America great again on other parts of the world. He has said that he does not want to interfere mostly in other parts of the world. He does not want wars to continue. He wants to concentrate on policies within America, for example, the immigration policy, and all those other policies that we've been talking about. Uh, and in that context, if we look at how he is going to look at Pakistan, one thing that he did say in his speech, one country that he did talk about was China. So China is a very important country for them. He talked about putting tariffs, huge tariffs on China, which they've already been doing. They've greatly increased their tariffs on China earlier also. So that is something, the one policy that is going to be continued. It's not something new. Perhaps Trump will intensify it. If we look at our country in that context, how far would they want to involve Pakistan in that? I think it's very questionable. The China containment policy is extremely important for the US, and they've chosen their ally for that in this region. So I think that as far as Pakistan is concerned, of course, we are just going to, and as every country does, look after our own interests. As far as
right, on that note, let me come back to you. I think that you've summed it up quite well. Let me go to Zahid Gishkori Saab, who is a senior journalist, before I go to Mustafa and then Wajih Saab. Zahid Saab, can you hear me?
Yes, Mahrukh. Thank you.
Zahid Saab, there's overall, if you heard what Shezra is saying, I think she summed it up very well. She says that there is little, she doesn't expect Trump to be so interested in Pakistan, and we've seen that after Afghanistan, there has been a lack of interest from the US as far as Pakistan as a region is concerned. Would you agree with that? Do you think that, of course, Trump has said that at this time, that whatever he said during the course of his elections, he's going to stand by those promises, and of course he's against war. He's going to be focusing, and of course in his last tenure, it is notable that he didn't start a single war. How do you look at these developments and of course, there's a lot that is being said, unfortunately or fortunately, that is attributed to Donald Trump, and that is being made relevant in our local politics. How do you look at that? Do you think a lot of that is wishful thinking? Do you think a lot of that is exaggerated? How do you look at it?
Thank you, Mahrukh. I look all these talks on social media and the debate and directly dealings of U.S. governments with Pakistan, particularly focusing on Imran Khan issue. I think it's only at this stage of time wishful thinking by one of the political parties, because they might be progressing in their lobbying in the United States, but here in Pakistan, the ground realities are quite different. Yes, there could be an influence, might be in months to come or maybe in year to come, but it depends. Overall, the policy, as we have witnessed in the past as well, that in the previous government of President-elect Trump, back-to-back tweets done by him, in particular terms of Pakistan relation with the United States. These were not as good. Otherwise, when Democrats rule the country, Pakistan has a different situation. But when the Republicans come out with power, the situation changes slowly and gradually. But when we're focusing on Imran Khan in particular, I think there might be a personality relationship, or might be a relationship of an individual with an individual. I don't see that the state would be interested in such relationship to enhance the particular focus. But one thing is very important. I think the conflict in the region, the United States policy toward Pakistan neighbors like Iran or India, when Trump be ruling in the United States, the past suggested that Pakistan has been in not a such, I think, good position and good relations are in a very focusing relationship with the United States, because the Prime Minister of India, last time Trump visited India, particularly in Gujarat.
Talk more about, of course, the US relationship and tilt toward India, which Shezra also mentioned. Let me come back to you. Before I go to Mustafa, Wajih sir, as far as the US relations overall is concerned, you know, there is the history of US-Pakistan relations, regardless of how things are and where they are as far as our domestic politics is concerned, has been, would you agree, been motivated by rather do more or, you know, their own interest in the region, and that is, you know, rather likely to continue?
Actually, if you look at Pakistan-United States relationship over the last 4, 5, or maybe 6 decades, since 1950s in fact, it has been more influenced by events. But first of all, when there was war in Korea in 1951, 54, then Pakistan developed a relationship with the United States. But at that time, the United States did Pakistan. Then Pakistan became part of SEATO and CENTO, the US containment policy. Because of its geographical location in South Asia, and the United States wanted to contain the Soviet Union and China at that time. And as soon as the US, there was a détente between United States and Soviet Union, and their relationship with China improved after 1971. The relationship between Pakistan and India, Pakistan and the United States went down. And then again, when the Soviet Union came into Afghanistan and the United States needed Pakistan, then the relationship again developed. And the same circle you saw in 1990s, Pakistan faced US sanctions and all that. But as soon as this war on terror started, that US wanted to eliminate Taliban in Afghanistan, and they needed Pakistan, the relationship again came back. And after the the handing over of Afghanistan to Taliban in 2021, US has almost lost interest in the region in here, and our relationship again are lackluster.
You think that's likely to continue?
That it seems, you know, at present, if you see that the US interest in the regions, of course, besides China, of course, this is the nuclear weapons, it's the war on terror or terrorism related issues, and some economic relationship. Otherwise, US is too focused on India. Because, you know, India and United States, China, Australia and Japan are part of Quad. That is, though that's more like an economic alliance.
There is an argument that, you know, perhaps on that, of course, the opposition is making, that Trump was perhaps warmer towards Pakistan than Biden was. But of course, you know, the Afghanistan situation has to be taken in context, even if that were to be the case.
Yeah, of course, you know, in 2018, when Imran Khan became Prime Minister, of course, the United States was still in Afghanistan, and they wanted to evacuate, and there was agreement with Taliban on the evacuation. But they still needed Pakistan for the evacuation also. You know, in 2021, when this Kabul was taken over by Taliban, they had to suddenly evacuate their people and their supporters from Kabul. Then they needed Pakistan, and there was the Secretary of State also visited Pakistan at that time.
Yes.
But that was due to special circumstances.
Which no longer exist.
No longer exist. And even at that time, if you remember correctly, Biden, who was the president at that time, didn't call the Prime Minister Imran Khan. He didn't call even Shahbaz Sharif also when he became the Prime Minister after Imran Khan. And even after these February elections, there was not much warmth between Pakistan and United States even after that. So I don't think that, you know, frankly speaking.
So it's about the interest of you know, United States in the region, like you said, which is going to be their primary benchmark of how they deal with any country and any nation.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what
And
you're saying.
there's one point also that whenever there is a Republican government in the United States, generally, I mean, historical, though there was the world events were such at Republican tenures that United States needed Pakistan at that time, but generally speaking, during the Republican periods, Pakistan-US relations have been better than during when the Democrats were ruling in United States.
Let me come back to you. Mustafa, can you hear me?
Yes, Mahrukh.
There is, as far as your party is concerned and, overall, the opposition is saying a lot about, what was earlier said by, for example, members as far as the government is concerned about Donald Trump as a politician. Do you think that, that is perhaps, propaganda that is needless, trying to make it into something more than what it is as far as American policy is concerned, when you look at their policy is concerned and what it's largely driven by with regard to their self-interest in the region, with regard to what a country can do for them, all of those considerations?
See, Mahrukh, actually, Trump is a smart politician and he's a successful businessman. So he knows how to, fix the economy, and he's asserted a lot of times to fix the U.S. economy because already they are going through a lot of difficulties over there. So I think he will be more focused on the interest of U.S. And apart from that, it's bizarre that the same party PTI, who blamed US for their intervention in toppling Imran Khan's government, is now actually expecting the same US government to release Imran Khan and then restore his government and bring him back to PM House. So this contradictory statement is bizarre, and I think Pakistan is a sovereign country. And I don't think so that Donald Trump will intervene in the domestic issues of Pakistan, because it's a legal case which Imran Khan is facing, and he'll face as per the the legal legal terms. So I think this is like a sort of a silly wish which PTI is making and expecting from Donald Trump. And apart from that, see, my chairman, Bilawal Bhutto, as a foreign minister, he was in every place, wherever, in every forum, he was asserting for trade with other countries. We don't want aid, we want trade. That is the only way Pakistan will rebuild the economy. And that is what we expect from Donald Trump, to help us rebuild our economy. That is what we should, put forward. And the other,
do you think it's a reasonable expectation, maybe, and something that we can expect considering our relationship with China and Trump's stance as far as China is concerned and Chinese goods are concerned?
See, there are very cold relations with Russia and between Russia and US, but still Trump likes Putin. So I think he's a very different kind of person, and I don't think he will just because Pakistan has good ties with China, he will not help Pakistan. He will help Pakistan in a way if we put forward that Pakistan wants to build strong ties with US, and Pakistan wants to build trade ties with US, and also the most important thing is Kashmir issue.
Do so. Why should the US do so? Of course we want to, because we have a lot to gain from a country like the US, but why should the US do so, considering, like we're talking about quite candidly, the interest of the US in the region is no longer what it once was, right?
He has good relationships with India, and I think he's a believer of ending disputes. So if there is a dispute in this region, so I think so he will play a role in that, as we are expecting him to play a role in Middle East, that he wants to diffuse the tension between Middle East and Israel. So if he can do that, he can also sort issues in this region as well. So this is not something that we are expecting too much from Trump. But I think this is what the government of Pakistan should be working on, not just to release Imran Khan and just bring him back to the power and all that. So this is, I think, all that the hue and cry made by PTI is just to seek attention and maybe build an impression that Trump has just won the election to release Imran Khan, which is, I think, not the case.
Fair enough. Abdullah, let me go to Dr. Shezra. Dr. Shezra, if you heard what Abdullah is saying, do you think that there's any hope of Trump interfering for the Muslims, for example, in disputes like Kashmir?
First of all, I'd just like to dispel this notion that Trump is going to go out of his way for anybody or any prisoner in Pakistan. Trump will be dealing with the state of Pakistan, with the government of Pakistan, as a United States president. Secondly, we must all remember what happened when the then Prime Minister Imran Khan went to visit the US, and he did receive a good welcome, and he was jubilant, and so was his party when he returned. And he said that it seems as if he's won the World Cup again. And at that time, President Trump had talked about Kashmir, and he said he would be willing to intervene in Kashmir. But what happened after Imran Khan returned? Only a few days after he returned, India abrogated Article 370 and 35A. And, they took away Kashmir's special status. And that was something that Pakistan and all Pakistanis have never accepted, because the only way to resolve the Kashmir issue is through the United Nations auspices and according to the United Nations Charter, and by giving the Kashmiri people their right to vote and choose their own destiny. Now, at this point, I think initially Trump is going to be too involved in his own agendas within America, because he's going to come up with lots of his own vision, not just the Republican Party and its, the way that the party behaves, but he has sort of his own larger than the party vision as well. He has his own agendas as well, and he's very clear and very focused on those agendas. So I don't think Kashmir is going to be very high on his list of things that he'll be focusing on, and neither is definitely anything to do with the internal affairs of Pakistan, because even though he said that this is my friend or this is not, those are just things that he said just now. He's not going to definitely interfere in anything. Pakistan is a sovereign country and nothing that anybody would. But I think rather than going there, because they haven't said anything at all this propaganda is just being done by the PTI, and from within the PTI, they're also refuting that thing. So, nobody else really needs to say anything. Some of them are saying that, yes, Trump is going to come and he's going to immediately start working for the release of Imran Khan. And the others are saying that we are not going to look at Trump, and we're not interested in Trump at all for anything to do with the internal workings of Pakistan. So, and Imran Khan himself has asked the U.S. government to remain neutral. And I think that's a very confusing statement, because what it connotes is that he is saying that previously the U.S. government was not neutral. So he, in a way, is standing by his regime change falsehood that the party propagated at one time. So I don't think that we can see any immediate interference within Pakistan and its internal matters, or any interference in or any intervention in Kashmir for the time being. I don't see it.
Fair enough. Let me go to Vatisa. Vatisa, we're also looking at another protest. We're looking at, as far as the opposition, the PTI is concerned. We've seen what's happened in the past. We've seen, within the party, there has been, different statements made to, their leader. How are you looking at this now, this protest, and what do you think is going to fuel this?
Actually, if you look at the PTI's behavior, since the launching of vote of no confidence against then Prime Minister Imran Khan in February 2022, every move which they have always been trying to resist it, to put forward their perspective. through non-political means or non-constitutional, non-legal means. So, because of those means, they, in fact, that has been counterproductive for them. They tried to frustrate the vote of no confidence. After the vote, when it became impossible for them to frustrate the vote of no confidence, they resigned from the National Assembly. Let's just look at the strength of PTI at that time. They had 156 members in the National Assembly. And the government, despite the other parties, had just 172 something. So that would have been a very strong opposition. They had governments in Punjab and KP and all that. So because of their moves, they have been, dragging themselves in
You're saying the disorganization overall has been always there. Let me include Zahid Saab in this. Zahid Saab, can you hear me? Ji, Zahid Saab, there is, this latest protest, dharna, whatever we may call it, is fueled by what exactly now? Because we've seen, overall the protests that have been called, we've seen them, the backtracking also, overall, of course, the amendments before that also, and, now, what do you think is behind this? And do you think that there is, they're united within the party with regard to this, or there are different narratives again within the party?
I think, Mahrukh, now the condition and environment haven't changed in the country. As we have been discussing on your program, that the political chaos, many things got to do since April 2022, but it has been failing consistently. But now, in the past 2 weeks, we have witnessed that the government is done with the desired legislation from the parliament, particularly the 26th amendment. And now it has changed not only the pattern and chemistry in the Supreme Court of Pakistan as the constitutional bench comes out and government seem to be successful whatever it wanted. I think this is the reason that PTI faced tough time, defeat otherwise in the parliament and on different fronts. But now the ground would be different. We don't know that what exactly the party would come out, the agenda of a new protest. But the collective response could come from PTI, particularly focusing on Imran Khan, how to get him released from the jail, because two cases are very important. One,
the
Tosha Khana 2 case judgment is coming out. Either Imran Khan would be released or get relief or not. And the secondly, £190 million case is crucial. And today, Islamabad High Court led the court to decide the case in coming weeks. So these two cases are important. It means that
attributed, I mean, by them, again, of course, it's been said before, this is, the build-up is usually there and then it sort of falls flat. Correct me if I'm wrong, that, there's going to be a big announcement on this protest, and do you think that's just a build-up, or what is it inkling towards?
I think there is certain division within the party, because party does not stand united on many issues. Punjab seemed to be divided, no response from Karachi, and also the only Khyber Pakhtunkhwa under the leadership of Chief Minister Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which is considered to be very close to Imran Khan. And obviously, the PTI founder is on his beck and call, and that's why the only force from the province could not, I think, pile up the pressure on the center, particularly because since the people are not coming out from Punjab, so this is the reason that collective response at the protest, and we have seen divided opinion from secondary leadership of PTI on certain protests they have been planning in the past, and they also have new plans for the future as well. But it's uncertainty. We are not clear either what would be their agenda this time now, because by and large, they wanted the senior most judge in the Supreme Court as Chief Justice. It could not happen. Now, that their plan of protest could only, I think, achieve the desired result if they focus on the people relief. The government should give them. It's like that, and this is the test. That's why for the government to deliver, which otherwise seem to be focusing on PTI in the past.
What do you think it's about? Abdullah, if you've heard what Zahid Saab is saying, what do you think this latest announcement is going to be about? Do you think it's going to be about restructuring within their party? Do you think that there's going to be, something that they're going to give out, some leadership within the party, that there's going to be some change there? What do you think it's about?
See, Mahrukh, PTI has cornered itself from the political, environment, and they are turning into a rogue element more than a political party. So the way they are, functioning actually in this whole process, I think this is damaging themselves. How Gandapur has been, building an image of very, very aggressive kind of chief minister who is, name shaming other political parties, and creating a very hostile environment between the federal government and the provincial government. So what we saw, and then it all fizzled out within days. So that damaged the party itself. So I think now what they are clueless, and the party has maybe they don't have a structure, they don't have a political plans, and they are just
still have, Abdullah, they do still have their considerable numbers as far as the opposition is concerned. So I think in that sense, of course, I mean the government does realize that they have a significant number of seats in the parliament.
Agreed. They have significant numbers, but they are not functioning, and they are not using those numbers. They are just trying to build agitation in streets. They are just trying to create a hostile environment. Just trying to make an impression that they have the strongest street power. So I think that will not help. If had they been engaging with the stakeholders and the government, then I think things would have been better for the PTI itself. So
government at this time, as collective government, if you look at the parties, the PPP, the PML-N, major parties, the amendment has been done. You're looking at, at the changes that the government wanted to make and put forward have currently, been put in place. Maybe more will follow, but at this time, that goal has been achieved, so to speak, and things otherwise seem to be steady and going in the direction that the government envisages. So overall, you think that that they're going to be able to have muster that kind of street power or that kind of agitation, like you say, that they want to create in the kind of environment that we have at this time, with a government that is focused more on economy. We are looking at and of course overall the indexes at this time, whatever they are showing, do you think they're going to be able to create that?
Mahrukh, seriously, I don't think so. In 3 provinces, they have the street power is no more, and I think so. If you speak of Sindh, I don't see PTI functioning anywhere. In Balochistan, they are nowhere. In Punjab, maybe little bit, but their overall support maybe is in KPK. So with the support from one province, I don't think so they can bring any sort of pressure for the government. So this will maybe tire them by constant protest, but I think so it will not affect the government anywhere.
There is, as far as the PTI as a political party, do you think there's a chance that perhaps there's going to be a change in their own leadership that's going to come from the PTI chief? And perhaps, because of course, we've also heard on occasion that he hasn't been very satisfied with the leadership, the way that it is, you know, was expected to galvanize people, and that didn't come through. So do you think that there can be a change there also?
Frankly speaking, I mean, because, you know, PTI is Imran Khan. Second tier leadership doesn't count. That's why you see a lot of infighting between these people to get more closer to Imran Khan. It's fight to get close to Imran Khan. But lately you have seen Imran Khan's sisters coming to
And there's also, you know, his wife now who's
yes,
on
his wife
bail.
now in,
bail.
on bail, and she's in Peshawar. So you would see, and there would be two, there can be two consequences. One is that the sisters, Imran Khan's sisters, who were basically being more vocal in the party lines. And if you remember, in 2013, when Imran Khan fell from the container, the second day there was a public meeting in Rawalpindi, which was addressed by Alima Khan in place of Imran Khan. So there is this sort of some hierarchy there, or some expected hierarchy.
You think that there might be a change?
There might change. So the sisters might take more front position, and PTI people may be more become more affiliated with them instead of being affiliated to Barrister Goa.
So you think that there, you know,
there might be that change.
There might be, you know, and they might have a better chance of resonating with their supporters.
And second consequence of this thing might be, and as you mentioned that Bushra Bibi is on bail and she's in Peshawar, that might be some sort of issues between sisters and wives.
As far as leadership
as far as the leadership is concerned.
Right. So we don't know what's going to happen with regard to that. Unfortunately, there's all that time that we have. Thank you so much for being with us. Wajih Abbasi Saab, thank you for joining us. Zahid Gishkori Saab, thank you for being with us. Dr. Shezra Mansab Ali, thank you for joining us. Mustafa Baloch, thank you for your time. Overall, of course, as far as Pakistan as a region is concerned, its importance in the eyes of a country like the US is concerned, whether it will mean a change or a shift in foreign policy seems rather unlikely. We will of course know what direction the Trump leadership, Donald Trump, the president-elect, will take the country, and perhaps, you know, how he views things, of course, with regard to the region, with regard to China, with regard to, you know, overall conflicts in the world, and that will soon become clearer in the next couple of weeks and months to come. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.